Hello again, back to doing some more work on the trailer, but I'm working inside today because it's not very nice outside. It's been raining and we've just got over that awful storm at the weekend. So what I'm doing now is working out about putting some wood planks and things onto the decking for the trailer. Now I've been into me woodshed and I found some timber which I think will do the job. I've got 6 pieces like this, rather large, about 1.25 inches thick and about 4.5 inches wide. I've also found some tongued and groove, which is about 3/4 inch, I suppose, roughly. None of this wood, I haven't bought any of this wood. All of this wood came out of a skip basically. We used to have a wood yard in the area where they made roof trusses and things, and a lot of this wood, they were bits they cut off the end and they slung them into a skip and they paid somebody to take it away, would you believe? And I was lucky enough to have a contact there who allowed me to go down once a week and fetch some of this wood. It was essentially for firewood, but of course being a scrimper I've kept it for other uses. I've got the tongued and groove, which is about 3/4 inch thick, or I can put this thicker stuff on, which is 1.25 inch. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the 1.25 inch of the thicker stuff for the deck because I want it quite strong, and I'll use this, but to save this I've got several of these and I can make the side panels, the detachable side panels out of this because it will make it lighter and they don't need to be as strong. The reasoning is if I have a strong deck I can use it as a workbench, as a work table when I'm outside and things with it, and also I'll be able to stand on it if necessary and use it as a platform. That's my idea. But what I think I might do, it is a little bit wide, so after I've cut them to length I might just run them through the thicknesser and just take a little bit off and make them a little bit, just a shade thinner, because it will help with the weight because I don't want it too heavy. So my next job is to take these into the workshop and I'll saw them off to the right length first. Now what I normally do when I'm sawing wood off to a certain size, I normally use this little block and set it on the back fence here so I can set them all off at cut them all off at the equal length. Because these are quite long, it won't reach right down to the end of the saw bench, so I can't really put a stop on there, so I'm not going to bother with that. Tape measure won't hook on the end of the wood. It's always the same when you're trying to do something and somebody's watching. I'll put the headphones on, most important thing, protect your ears. Now before I cut the others, I'll just take this one out and check it on the trailer. Number 2. You can see I've cut them all to the right length now. That last one is a bit too wide, but the easiest thing would be to cut an inch off the side of one of them, but it'd look a bit odd that way. So I've got a choice. I can either take a little bit off each one, or I can take sort of 1/2 inch off the 2 outside ones, as they'll be the strongest because it's got extra support here. I'll do that first. I'll run them through the circular saw, and then what I'm going to do after I've done that, I might run them through the thicknesser to make them just a little bit thinner than what they are, because I don't want the thing to be too heavy. And away we go. Right. fits, Bob's your uncle. Goes in. There you go. That looks alright, doesn't it? First thing to do, put the headphones on, because it's very noisy. This will be very noisy, folks. Turn on down here. We're away. I'm now going to chamfer the boards for the deck of the trolley, but I'm going to use this very old-fashioned wooden jack plane. Now this is a beautiful plane and it was going to be thrown away. Look at that. All I did was sharpen it up and it's made a tremendous difference. Lovely. You can't beat the swish of wood shavings. I'm just chamfering the one edge where it fits onto the side of the trolley. It's a long way to walk backwards and forwards down here. Those lovely long shavings. Whereas this old-fashioned plane really does a good job. I mean, look at that. One continuous great long shaving. Brilliant. Right, I'm going to try this on the trolley now. That's the floor or the deck of the trolley completed. I haven't fixed it yet, it's just loose. So that'll come later, but the next job is to do the fixed end of the trolley. I'm not quite sure how to do this back part yet. I'm undecided whether to leave. Normally you would think that it would come up to the height of the corner brackets, but as I'm using tongue and groove board anyway, which will hold it together, I'm thinking of leaving it a bit higher and rounding the corners off here to make it look quite nice. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to shave this tongue off the top. I've already started it. And then I'm going to cut this off with a scroll saw, round these corners off, and then put it on and see what it looks like. I must admit, I do quite like using this old plane. It's got a lovely sound about it. Just to take this tongue off its own. Look at that, lovely. That is what you call a plane. Beautiful. Right, now I'm going to mark it out on the corners and cut those round. Simple way of marking. I'm just going to use a tin of grease actually. Just pop it on the corner there like that. What could be simpler? I'm going to use the Hegner fret saw to cut the corners off. I'll be honest with you, this is probably the most favourite tool of all the machines I've got in the workshop. I've had this one over 20 years. It's a beautiful machine, but it is probably the Rolls Royce of fret saws. Some people call them scroll saws, by the way. I always call them fret saws because that's what they used to be called. I really like using this machine. It's gentle and quiet and clean. Right, so let's turn the saw on and see what we can do. It's always awkward starting on a corner like this. There we go. Hegner fret saw. It's one of the best machines I've got. When I say the best, one of the most useful and the one I most like using, and it's the safest machine as well. Well, I don't know whether you can hear this or not, but it's pouring a rain now, and it's making a noise on the roof, so I'm going to talk a bit louder. I bet you can hear the rain. It's quite a nice sound actually. Anyway, what I was going to say was, I've now rounded the ends up and I think that looks quite nice. I think I'm going to leave it like that. I shall bolt those on and that'll be a permanent fixture on the trolley. I reckon it's quite good.